So sit cross-legged if that works for you. Now, I notice, Carl, notice if your knees are kind of higher than your hip bones, yeah? So try maybe taking your block and sitting up on one of your blocks. So your block will be like this flat horizontal. And sit up, right up on top of it. If you need to put two together for more space, you can do that. And then as you cross your legs, you might notice that your spine can get a little longer and taller, and that your knees come a little more wider and more open for the hips, yeah? Good, okay. So if you're sitting on a block, great. If you're not, that's okay too. Most important here is just sit up tall out of the lower back. So much we're sitting these days in quarantine, and a lot of times maybe we're behind our sit bones, so we get this, right? This kind of sinking into the lower back. So come up onto the sit bones, lean forward so you're in front of the sit bones and you're out of that lower back, okay? Then you want to keep that and try to relax here. Shoulders, hands. Try to relax your legs as much as possible. Close your eyes. And we begin the process of tuning in here. So no outside distractions, our outer world kind of fades away for now, and we're looking inward. So we're noticing our breath, we're noticing our physical body, maybe scanning your body from the top of the head to the tips of your toes, and just notice if there's areas of tightness, tension, strain, ache. And just keep that in mind as you're moving through your practice. And check in on your mind. Is it scattered? Is it quite quiet? Is it somewhere in between? Notice your overall mood or maybe your spirit. Check in. Any emotions that are rising up, just observe and notice that. So feel that rising of the inhale and the softening on the exhale. Let's begin a little pranayama exercise, so a little breath work. Take an inhale for about 1/3 of your breath and then pause it. Inhale through the nose 1/3 more. Pause the breath. Inhale, fill up all the way to the top. Pause, open your mouth, exhale, empty out. Keep your spine long, inhale 1/3 of your breath. Pause, inhale 1/3 more, relax your face. Pause, inhale all the way up to the collarbones, the throat. Pause and open your mouth, exhale. Beautiful, one more. Inhale 1/3, lower belly. Inhale another 1/3 into the rib cage. Inhale all the way up, fill up the lungs, chest lifts. Open your mouth and exhale. Soften those shoulders, relax your jaw. Just breathe naturally, find your own rhythm. And in yoga, we like to set intentions for our practice. So perhaps you can connect with a word that might mean something to you, or that you want to cultivate from within, whether it's peace or strength, compassion. So breathe that word into the heart, right at the center of your chest. And then you might want to keep your eyes closed or blink your eyes open. We're going to switch the cross of the legs. So whichever shin is in front, you're just going to switch it. Put the opposite shin in front. Good. It might feel a little awkward, a little different, but we want to keep our bodies aligned and balanced out and centered. So find your tall spine again. Sit up nice and tall. Feel as if the crown of your head could touch the ceiling, but the shoulders are releasing down away from your ears. But now keep all that length through your spine. Tip your chin down toward your chest. But keep lifting the chest up toward your chin. And then gently roll right ear over to the right shoulder. Good. Roll your chin back down to center. And inhale, roll the left ear over to the left shoulder. And back down again. So chin to center, towards the chest. Inhale, roll the right ear over to right shoulder. So you're making half circles with your head. Just the lower half of a circle with your head to ease up any tension in the back of your neck. For some reason, I have a lot of tightness there. And at the same time, you're releasing the shoulders down. The shoulder blades are sliding down the back. Just a couple more. Notice if you're starting to lose it in the spine and starting to slouch, just realign, sit up tall. Good, and then bring it down to center. On an inhale, bring the chin just so it's parallel to the floor. Good. Take an inhale, circle your arms up, overhead. Now interlace your fingers, flip your palms up. Try to take those arms straight if you can. Lift your rib cage, lift the shoulder blades, press down into the pelvis, into the block or the floor. Exhale, side bend to the right. So I'm your mirror here. We're all looking towards the monitor. So I will be your mirror. So breathe into your left lung, left ribs. Good. Inhale, bring it back up. Lift the rib cage. And exhale, side bend over to the left this time. Open up through the right lung, right ribs. Relax your face. Good. Inhale, come back up. Exhale, release your arms down. Good. Now interlace your fingers the opposite way. You're going to place your hands behind your head, elbows are wide. So right at the base of your skull, maybe your thumbs can touch just the back of your neck. Maybe a little massage there. Now tip your chin down toward your chest and fold your elbows in toward your ears. And you're not forcing anything. Just the weight of your hands is stretching, a little traction in the back of the neck. Relax the shoulders, long spine, draw the belly in. And then slowly release your arms. Good, roll out your shoulders. And then let's come off the block or off your seat. And then lie down on your back. Hug your knees in toward your chest, rock side to side a little bit. Just notice your lower back. And then set your feet to the earth and walk your feet wide, mat distance apart. Feet on flat on the floor, mat distance. Have your arms a little bit away from your sides and turn your palms up to open up your chest. And then let's take some windshield wipers. So the knees fall to one side. Inhale, lift them up. Exhale, take them to the other side. So you're just shifting the knees and the shins side to side. And your head might roll to the opposite direction of the knees. So you're massaging the back of your skull, you're massaging your lower back, you're getting into the external and internal rotation of the hips, moving the pelvis. Just a little dynamic movement here. Then once your knees have fallen to the left, you're gonna pause there. Your head might roll to the right. So just stay here. Let's take another practice of that 1/3 breath. So inhale a third of your breath, pause. Inhale, sip in a little more. Pause the breath. Inhale, fill. Open your mouth, exhale. Good. Inhale, bring the knees back up. Exhale, knees fall to the right this time. Roll your head to the left. Pause it here. Can you soften your shoulder blades down to the earth? Inhale a third of breath. Pause. Inhale, sip in a little more, third more. Pause. Inhale all the way up. So let the lungs feel expansive. Open your mouth and exhale. Nice. Come back to center. Inhale. Good. Now lift your feet off the earth with the knees bent. And we're going to do some figure four. So the right ankle will cross on top of the left knee. And then we're going to switch right away. So this time, left ankle crosses onto right knee. And then you switch. And you switch. We're just getting into the little more external of the hips. Taking your time. Good. And Carl can leave his foot down onto the earth. That's great. So always modify when you need to. Good. Now release your knees towards your chest, hands behind the back of your thighs. And now we're going to rock forward and back on the spine, if that feels good. And then we're going to pause to boat pose. You're going to balance on your tailbone, two sit bones. Hold on to the back of your thighs, right? Draw the belly in. And then maybe arms reach forward. So Carl, come up so you're balancing on your seat. Yes. Relax your shoulders. Rock a little from further back towards the sacrum. Are we breathing? One more inhale. And exhale, release. Good. Take your feet off to one side and then come to hands and knees position. Okay. Hands and knees, tabletop. Maybe go through some cat-cows if you're there. Loosen up your spine. So you want to place your shoulders over your wrists, hips over the knees. Good. Now, inhale, extend the right leg back behind you. So you might look back, make sure that heel is about hip height. Try not to make it go higher because then you're starting to get into the lower back. So the leg is about hip height or it could be lower, okay? You can stay right here. Can you lift your rib cage and belly away from the mat? Keep your neck nice and long. Some of you might take the left arm forward. Turn the palm in. Thumb points up. Neck stays nice and long. Can you lift out of that right shoulder? Sometimes it collapses. So lift out of that right shoulder. Some of us on the exhale will bend the elbow and knee in towards one another underneath you. Inhale, lengthen, arm forward, leg back. Exhale, elbow and knee come in. Round the upper back if you can. Couple more. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, curl in. Inhale. Lots of length and space. Good. Exhale, knee to elbow, contract. Now inhale, leg goes back, arm goes forward. Keep the leg lifted. Lower your left hand down. Okay, so both the arms are down. Now tuck your left toes under and use your strength in the arms to press yourself up to the three-legged downward dog. And if it feels good, open up that right hip, bend the knee. Good. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Level off the pelvis, so outer right hip levels down, inner thigh levels up. And then step your right foot next to left in downward facing dog. Inhale high up on your tippy toes. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet up to the top of your mat. Forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees as much as you need. So Carl, this is a good time to have blocks underneath your hands if you can't touch the floor. So block underneath your hands, or maybe knees bent a lot, okay? Now on an inhale, draw your heart forward, come up halfway. So fingertips can come to shins, hands can come to thighs, or your hands can stay on a block. Exhale, fold, bow softly down. Inhale, rise up, arms circle up, all the way to the top, maybe palms touch. Nice. Exhale, hands to heart center. Mountain pose, Tadasana. So inhale, circle your arms, reach up. Exhale, spill forward, hinge from your hips and fold. Release your head. Come up halfway, fingertips to shins, hands on thighs or hands on a block. Exhale, fold forward. We pause here. Heel toe your feet a little wider, maybe mat distance or so. If it's okay with balance, interlace your fingers behind your back. Keep the heels of the hands wide. And then slowly, maybe start to take the arms towards straight, knuckles towards the ceiling. Opening up the chest, bend your knees a lot if you need to, let your head hang. Good, yeah. And slowly release your fingertips to the earth or the blocks. And heel toe your feet closer together, hip distance. On an inhale, draw the chest forward, flat back, long spine. Exhale, fold. Now bend your knees, root your palms, look forward, step back to plank, top of your push-up, or knees down plank, your choice. Stack the shoulders over your wrists. Now tip forward, shoulders past wrists, bend the elbows lower. Knees can come down first, come all the way down on the belly. Good. Point the elbows back. Inhale, draw the heart forward as you press the tops of your feet down. Cobra. Exhale and release. Tuck your toes under. Press yourself up, plank or hands and knees. Exhale, downward dog. 3 breaths here in downward facing dog. Good. Great. Can you relax your head and neck? Yeah. Lower to your hands and knees. Come back to all fours position. Hands and knees. And we'll switch sides. So left leg extends back on inhale. Look back. You want the heel at hip height or maybe lower, not higher than the hip. Hip height or lower. Now lift your rib cage, lift the belly away from the earth so you're not arching. Maybe some of you take the right arm, reach it forward, palm in as if you're shaking someone's hand that's too far away. Either stay here or on exhale, bend elbow and knee together, round your upper back. Inhale, lengthen, lift out of that left shoulder. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, lengthen, get long. Exhale, knee and elbow come in, maybe they touch. Inhale, arm forward, leg back. We pause here. Lower your right hand down. Keep the leg lifted if you can. Now tuck your right toes under and inhale, press yourself up and back, three-legged downward dog. Open the hip, bend the knee. Inhale, extend left leg. Roll the outer left hip down, inner thigh up. And then lower left foot next to right foot. Downward dog. Long spine. Corset your rib cage in towards center. On an inhale, lift your heels. Bend your knees, gaze forward. Exhale, walk your feet up to the top of your mat. As many steps as you need, take up. And then come into your forward fold, hands on blocks or the earth. Inhale, come up halfway. Fingertips to shins. Press your shins into the fingertips. Send the chest forward. Good. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up to standing. Flat back, long spine, all the way up. Press your feet down and in. Belly in, palms touch. Exhale, hands to heart. Wait for the inhale, circle your arms, reach up. And wait for your exhale to spill forward and fold. Let your heart guide you all the way down. Come up on inhale. Exhale, release. Now heel toe your feet a little wider apart. Again, interlace your fingers the opposite way, the awkward way this time, opposite thumb on top. Your choice. Either keep the elbows bent, but they're bending closer towards each other, or maybe knuckles towards the ceiling, arms towards straight. If you have the space in your body to start to take the legs a little bit more straight, great. If that's too much, keep the knees bent. Relax the head and neck. And then release your fingertips to the earth. Heel toe your feet a little closer together. And inhale, come up halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold Uttanasana, hips over heels. Bend your knees, root your palms, look forward. Step back, plank, top of your push-up, or modify with knees down. Shift forward, bend your elbows. Exhale, lower all the way to the earth. Elbows point back. Tops of your feet press down and in. And then inhale, coil the heart forward and up. Cobra. Maybe go a little bit higher. Some of you are going to straighten the arms and you're on the tops of the feet so the shins, the knees lift in upward facing dog. Exhale, make your way back. Downward facing dog. How is your breath doing? Lower your knees down. Separate them apart, big toes touch, and then drop your hips back. Any amount, come to child's pose. I always like to pillow my hands and rest my forehead on top of my hands. You want to take the arms long and straight, feel free. Or take the arms back down by your sides, rest the forehead down. So find just an opportunity to soften and relax in your child's pose. Deepen your breath. Notice your energy level. Feel your heartbeat. And then when you're ready, come on up to your hands and your knees. You can choose to rest longer always. So tuck your toes under, lift your hips up and back to downward dog. Come high up on the toes, inhale, bend your knees, gaze forward, and exhale, walk your feet up again to the top of your mat. And fold in, hips over heels. Inhale, come up halfway and lengthen. Exhale, bow it down and release. Inhale, rise up. Root down to rise. Circle the arms, come all the way up. And exhale, hands to your heart. Good. I'm going to turn to face you. Look at your feet. You want them hip distance parallel. So toes slightly in, little separation to the heels. Now inhale, circle your arms, reach up. Exhale, bend your knees, drop your seat back to chair pose. Take a quick second, look down, make sure you can see the tops of your toes. Sometimes our knees are covering the toes up. So see if you can drop or sink your hips back. Draw the knees and shins back, and then open up through your heart. Nice. Now press your feet down and in as you inhale, rise up to standing. Lift your right knee up in front of you. Good, and exhale, step it down. Sit back, chair pose. Bend the knees, drop the hips. Inhale. Palms are floating back and down, and then float the left knee up toward your chest. A little bit of balance here. Exhale, foot down, bend the knees, really reach those hips back, like you're reaching for a chair that's way too far away. Again, inhale, come up, press the feet down to rise. Right knee floats up towards your chest. Exhale, step it down, bend the knees, drop it, chair pose. Inhale, rise up. Left knee floats up, or maybe toes on a block, might be helpful. And exhale, chair. You can also lean back against the wall. Find your butt cheeks and lean them back against the wall. And then on an inhale, when you come up, float the right knee up towards your chest and maybe touch the wall with your hands. And exhale, bend your knees, drop down, chair pose. How low can you go? Inhale, come up. Left knee lifts. Exhale, sit back, chair pose. Okay, now this time we're going to keep this one. Inhale, rise up. Float that right knee up toward your chest. Maybe hold on to the knee. See where you're at? Maybe keep the knee there, but reach your arms up by your ears. Draw the belly in. Good, we've got one more breath. Lower it down. Bend the knees, chair pose. Good, so make sure you can see the tops of your toes and that the weight is in the heels of your feet. Now inhale, rise up. Left knee lifts. Maybe hold on to the knee. Keep the sternum lifting up, the crown of the head lifting up as you're really rooting down into your right foot. It's okay to wobble a little. Notice if you hold the breath. We hold the pose, but not the breath. Some of you will reach your arms up by your ears. Relax your face. And lower the foot down. Last chair pose, bend the knees, draw back. Take an inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Come up halfway and lengthen. Exhale, fold. Now bend your knees, root your palms. Step back to plank pose, top of your push-up, or knees down plank. And you might take that vinyasa flow, or you might skip all of that and just meet us in downward dog or take a child's pose. Noticing your breath. Notice how you feel. Now in downward facing dog, inhale, lift your right leg up and back behind you. Exhale, now step that right foot forward, right between your thumbs. Walk your hands around a quarter turn to the left. Pivot your feet so they're parallel and wide. Wide feet, wide legs, and inhale, lift the heart and lengthen first. Good, exhale, hinge from your hips and fold forward. Bend the knees if you need, relax your head. Now inhale, walk your fingertips forward and lengthen out again. So shoulders and wrists are stacking. Now take your hands to your hips, elbows point up. Keep all that length in the torso on an inhale. Root your feet down, rise up. Nice and slow. Good. All the way up to standing. Sweet. Now pivot your toes out slightly and pivot your toes in, or toes out, heels in. Bend your knees, come to horse pose. Temple pose or horse pose, sometimes we call this goddess pose. Hands at heart, lift the sternum up. Good, bend the knees, make sure your knees are tracking over toes. So if your feet feel really wide apart, you might want to shorten your stance a little bit, walk your feet closer in, it's up to you. Good, now on an inhale, take your legs towards straight as you circle your arms up and around. Good, palms touch. Now exhale, bend your knees, hands in front of the heart center, prayer position. Shoulders are soft. Inhale, circle your arms, legs towards straight, reach up. Exhale. Good, exhale out of your mouth. So inhale through the nose, circle the arms, reach up. Big exhale out of your mouth. Relax the shoulders, broaden the collarbones. Really nice, everyone. So continue. Inhale, filling up your lungs, reaching up. Exhale, softening, bend the knees, drop the hips. Couple more. Follow your breath. Let's do two more. Inhale. Gathering up all your energy for the rest of your practice. Exhaling, bringing it home to the heart. One more. Big circle with the arms. Pressing your feet down and in. And exhale. Good. Legs straighten. Hands on hips. Now pivot your feet parallel so the heels come out slightly, the toes in. Nice. Now angle your right toes out. Angle your left toes slightly in. Right toes out, left toes in. Your left hip is slightly tipped forward. Now shift your hips back. Open up your arms. Glide your torso over your hip bones. Keep opening your chest towards the side. Now exhale, right fingertips touch mid-shin. Left arm comes up, triangle pose. Now here's when a block, if you have a block, might be handy. You can place it to the outside of your right ankle, maybe high, and place your fingertips on top of the block, or whatever you have for your block. Outside of the ankle, left arm reaches up. Good. Now can you roll your heart forward and up? Maybe look up at your left thumb tip. If that doesn't feel good on your neck, look forward. Open up through the collarbones, the chest, just really radiate from your center. Root your feet down and in, squeeze your inner thighs towards one another, find your breath. Inhale, press your feet down, rise up. Let's tip it back and reverse our triangle pose. So legs are still straight. Right arm reaches over as you tip the torso back. So it's more of a side stretch into the left side of the body. Now exhale, windmill the arms down and around. Find your runner's lunge. The back heel's gonna lift. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. So if you want to take that vinyasa flow, go for it. Otherwise, just downward dog. Take a break in child's pose. Good. Second side. Inhale. Left leg floats up and back behind you. Step the left foot right between the thumbs. Pick it up and place it there if you have to. And then journey your hands around a quarter turn to the right. So again, your feet are wide. Line up your toes. Heart comes forward on inhale. Exhale, hinge from your hips and fold. Maybe your hands are on a block. Maybe your knees are bent. It's all good. Inhale, walk your hands forward in front of you to lengthen your spine. Beautiful. Now keep the length. Just take your hands to your hips with the elbows pointing up. And on an inhale, lead with your heart and come all the way up to standing. Good, take a breath. Now turn your toes slightly out and your heels slightly in, and maybe heel toe your feet a little closer together. Bend your knees, drop the hips down, bring your hands to your heart. Good. Relax the gripping of your toes. Lift through the arches of your feet. Good. And we'll flow. Inhale. Straighten the legs, circle the arms, reach up. Exhale out of your mouth. Come back to that horse stance. Inhale, circle the arms, reach up. Exhale out of your mouth. Relax your jaw. Inhale. A few more times. Exhale. Follow your breath, follow the movement. Celebrate the quality of your breath, the sound of the breath. No rush. 2 more times. And last one, press your feet down to rise up, reach up. And exhale. Good, straighten the legs. Pivot your feet parallel, hands on hips. So toes in, heels out now. Okay, now left toes swing out. Right toes pivot in. Right hip slightly forward. Legs are straight. Now slide your hips back, open up your arms, slide your torso forward. Left fingertips find your left middle shin, right arm reaches up. Or take that block and place it to the outside of your left ankle. Whatever level works. Roll your heart forward and up. Keep inviting that left hip crease to drop back. Draw those inner thighs towards one another. Root down in your big toe mounds. Reach those left finger or right fingertips up towards the ceiling. Got 2 more breaths. Can you lengthen the sides of your neck? Wrapping the outer left hip underneath you. Inhale, root your feet down, rise up. Keep your legs straight. We're tipping it back to reverse your triangle pose. So left arm reaches up, side stretch, and it's that nice side bend into the left ribs and lung. Exhale, windmill it down. Come off the back foot, so the heel lifts, and then make your way back to downward dog. Flow or skip the flow. Your flow might be going straight to child's pose. Inhale through your nose, let's clear it out. Open your mouth and exhale. Come down onto the knees and rest in child's pose. If child's pose is too much head below the heart, you might just sit up to a kneeling position. So slow it down. Soften up and slow it down. And just reflect back on the journey when you first started the practice this morning and how you feel now. Maybe check in on that intention you set. And then when you're ready, make your way onto your back. And come on down onto your back. Hug your knees in toward your chest. And we'll come into that figure 4 position, that thread the needle again. So let your feet find the earth. Cross your right ankle on top of left knee. Okay, so this might be your pose. You can always take that block and maybe slide your left foot on top of the block for a little deeper sensation. And if you want to go even deeper, thread the needle with the right arm, that's the needle. Right arm threads between the thighs. Hold on to the back of the left thigh with your hands. So find your pose, which one works for you. And take a couple breaths here. So roll those shoulders back and down. Open up across the chest. Let your sacrum be connected to the earth. If it feels good, you might begin to straighten that left leg if you're in thread the needle. Maybe rotate your left foot around, point and flex your toes. Rebend the left knee if it was straight, and unwind. Okay, hug your knees back in towards your chest, rock side to side. And then switch it. So feet on the earth, right foot stays down, cross left ankle on top of right knee. Or right foot might find a block to rest on. Or thread the needle. Left arm is the needle that threads between your thighs. Okay, so find your pose. One is not better than the other. It's just a choice, what works best for you. You want the upper body here to relax and to be soft. So if your shoulders are lifted off the earth to grab your thigh, then maybe release the arms and set the foot onto a block or the floor. And if you're in thread the needle variation, then the right leg might start to extend up and circle the foot around. And then go ahead and rebend that right knee. Release your hands and uncross your legs. Now extend your legs forward. And let's come into a reclined side stretch. So left leg is going to scooch over to the top left corner of your mat. And you're going to cross your right ankle on top of the left ankle. So your legs are straight, And the right ankle is on top of the left ankle. Now reach your arms up overhead. Grab your right wrist with your left hand. And then begin to lift your head and your shoulder blades over to the left side of your mat. So start to create this crescent moon shape, this banana shape, if you will, with your body. The side stretch. You might roll your head to the left and really get into breathing into your right rib cage. That's fanning open, pressing your heels forward. And then as you're relaxing here, if you can, let's do a couple rounds of the 1/3 breath. So inhale a third, pause, inhale another third, pause, inhale, fill up, pause the breath, open your mouth, slow exhale. 2 more times, inhale a third, inhale another third, inhale, fill, open your mouth and let it out. Inhale a third of breath, relax your face. Inhale a little bit more. Inhale all the way up and let it go. Nice. Release your body, come back to center. Place your body back into center line, and then we'll switch. So right leg slides over to the right. So the heel's about the top right corner of your mat. Stack, left ankle on top of right ankle. Press your heels forward. Reach your arms up overhead, grab left wrist with right hand. And then lift your head and your shoulder blades and walk them over to the right side of your mat to make that C shape, that banana. Head rolls to the right. It's a nice side stretch here. To try to get both shoulder blades on the earth. And then a couple more rounds of the Loma Pranayama. Inhale a third of your breath. Inhale another third. Inhale all the way up. Open your mouth, let it out. Inhale a third, fill up the lower belly. Inhale another third into your side ribs. Inhale all the way up to the collarbones, the throat. And then let it out with a sigh. Last round. Inhale a third. Sip in a little more. Sip in a little more. And let it go. And lower your arms, uncross your ankles, make your way back to center. Okay. So keep your feet onto the earth, and if you have a block, great. If you don't, that's okay. So you might take your block and place it underneath the sacrum. You might stay here in a supported bridge pose, or maybe take your legs up, supported shoulder stand. Now I know some of you might have a full shoulder stand practice, and if that's you, great, as long as you know how to do it safely to prevent any neck injuries. Some of you might prefer to just drag your legs up a wall and be in a waterfall position. So your options are supported bridge pose, supported shoulder stand, or full shoulder stand, or legs up the wall. Okay. So Carl, I don't know if you have a block underneath your sacrum, but that would be a nice way to end your practice. Okay, so a couple more breaths wherever you are. And just really here, make it about calming your nervous system down, slowing down the pace of your practice, getting ready for full rest and relaxation. So if your legs are up the wall and you want to stay there, great, just be there. If you're on a block, come off your block, hug your knees in towards your chest, maybe take a final happy baby or a twist. And then slowly, when you're ready, make your way to Shavasana, to the final resting pose. One of the most powerful yoga poses, in my opinion. You're well prepared for this pose. Make sure you're comfortable, you're warm. Any adjustments, any last fidgeting or movement that you need. And then let your eyes close, unhinge your jaw, and just allow a wave of softness, relaxation wash over your body. Let the body be heavy, releasing all your effort and opening up to ease and surrender. Letting go of all the doing and the thinking, and just falling into being here. This poem is by Dana Fault and it's titled Being Present. Breathe, relax, and feel. Take time to slow down the pace of life. Watch the rise and fall of moods, the birth and death of dreams. Feelings and sensations seem so real, yet they shift like changing clouds and flow with a high tide out to sea again. Allow it all to be. No need to grasp or push away. Present with each moment, the whole of you, body, mind, and soul, opens to receive. You're still resting. Deepen your breath. And slowly begin to reawaken with all your fingers and toes. Take an inhale, reach your arms up overhead, stretch, yawn, sigh, take a cleansing breath. And bring your knees back to center. Bend your knees back in towards your chest. Roll gently to your right side. And when you feel complete, use your arm strength to press yourself up to seated with your eyes closed. And take inventory here. Just notice how you feel physically, mentally, and emotionally. Notice if there are any shifts that happened along the way on your journey and your yoga practice. Taking this opportunity to reflect, coming back home to your heart center, bow your head down toward your heart. May we all be happy and at peace and be free from suffering, sickness, and disease. May our hearts remain open. May we stay awake to the light of our own true nature. May we be healed. And may we be a source of healing for all others everywhere around the world. Namaste.